Yo, what's good, y'all? It's mTwenty. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a fire Southside type beat. But before I get into the video, make sure y'all subscribe, hit the like button, comment for what you want to see next on my channel. But yeah, I'm gonna get into it right now. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my melodies. I got Massive open right here, which is the VST I'm gonna use for most of my melodies in the tutorial. So yeah, I'm just gonna start cooking up a melody right here.
A few moments later.
Alright, so this is what I got so far. It sounds pretty fire, but I'm gonna add a little bit more to it. I'm just gonna copy it over like this, and then I'm gonna start changing some of the notes around to make it a little bit more interesting. Alright, so I think this sounds pretty fine now. I'm just going to copy to make it full 4 bars. Just one thing before I get into the next melody, make sure your BPM is around like 150 to 160. That sounds the best for this specific type of beat. But yeah, now that I have this melody, I'm actually going to randomize the velocity on it. So to do that, you hit Option R on your keyboard, and then you change this velocity knob. And like if you pull it like that, you can see it makes the velocity changes more extreme. But I usually keep it around here. It just keeps the melodies interesting, and it generally sounds pretty good. And you could just mess with which ones you like. I'm just gonna stick with this. Alright, I think that sounds fire. Now I'm gonna move on to my next melody right here. Alright, so I think it sounds good like this, but before I move on to more melodies, I'm just going to EQ out the low end of these because I don't want that clashing with my 808 when I add it later on the beat. So I usually put it to around 200, and to make it really precise, you could use this preset right here. It's called 20 Hertz and 18 kilohertz cut. And I'll just put that on both of them because they're routed to my mixer tracks 1 and 2. So now I'm actually going to add some gross beats because I feel that the melody was a little bit too busy and I want to keep it a little bit more simple. So I'm just going to go in here, and then I'm going to go to the half speed preset, which is on this page right there. Sounds pretty fire. And then I'm just going to add another one actually, and I'm going to put this on basic 8. This is like a really good tip that I have, is putting it on basic 8 after a half speed. Sounds really fire. You could hear it right here. I really like the way that sounds, and I put it on a lot of my melodies. And then on this one, I'm also gonna half speed that just to make room for like the drums. And then if somebody potentially raps on this, then there will be more room for their vocals. It just makes it a lot darker, and I just like the vibe. So yeah, now I'm gonna move on to my next melody, and for this one I actually have a flute sound. This isn't like that common in this style, like Southside beats, but I just thought it would sound dope in this beat, so I decided to use one.
Eventually.
I think that sounds really fine now. And now I'll move on to my drums. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 808. And I'm just going to use this Spins 808 here. It's what Southside used in most of his beats. And all these sounds are in the mTwenty Sauce drum kit, which we'll be releasing soon. But yeah, I'm just going to get started on my 808. Got to make sure you turn that velocity up. 808's got to be loud. I'll just put that down there. make sure your 808s are in key. You could just pitch it up a few octaves. Yeah, those are in key, so I'll just bring that back down, and then I'll finish off the pattern here. And one thing you have to do on your 808s is you turn the attack down, the hold all the way up like this, or else the notes will overlap and it'll get really distorted and it'll sound really bad. So if you do that, then your 808s will sound a lot better. All right, that sounded fire. Now I'm gonna go and add my hi-hat. And I'm just gonna start with a basic two-step like this. And now I'm just gonna add some rolls in here like Southside does. One thing you gotta remember is not to add too many rolls. A lot of people I hear in their beats, they're adding like a roll like in every other note, and it sounds terrible. It's too distracting and it just takes away from the beat. The best rolls are when they're like simplistic and very minimal throughout the beat. All right, so this is what my beat sounds like with the 808 and the hi-hats. This is just the order that I usually make my beats in, but you could kind of start with anything. I know a lot of people start with like the snares in class. This is what it sounds like so far. I think it sounds pretty fire. Now I'm just gonna add a basic clap pattern on top of this. Layer that with a snare. I'm just gonna add a few more sounds on this, and then that's pretty much it for the beat. And here's another tip for y'all. If you want to add like more differentiation inside of your drums, you could click the reverse button on open hi-hat and just make sure like the waveform takes up the whole thing. And then you could add like really cool sounding stuff like this. I would just recommend messing around with that because you can get some pretty cool effects in your drum. And now I'm gonna add the kick on this. Kick is usually pretty simple. You just kind of want to follow the 808 pattern and maybe make a little bit of differences. Like you could put it in place where the 808 doesn't hit and also a place where the 808 does hit and the kick doesn't. And just kind of experiment with what sounds good. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums. Now I'm just gonna arrange the beat and I'll let you guys hear what the final product sounds like.